Hello, potential business studies students. What you see in front of you is a brand. Branding is something that you will learn during your time studying business studies. And this is a brand that Mr. Kennedy, Head of Business, has successfully developed within the school over the last number of years. So, a few questions for you before we talk about the course itself. Which company is the biggest in the world based on revenue? We're looking at 2019 here. Any thoughts? Okay, Walmart. You might have heard of Walmart before. And their revenue in 2019 was £514 billion. So quite a bit of money. A few more questions for you to consider. First of all, on that last slide, we talked about revenue. Do you actually know what revenue is? You will learn about revenue fairly soon on in the course, so hopefully that'll be something that you will then be able to answer very easily. Which famous UK supermarket do Walmart part own? Okay, you may be familiar with Asda. Well, Walmart bought Asda a number of years ago, and recently British Brothers have bought out a majority share of Asda, and Walmart still own part of them. Okay, and something else for you to consider. Why do large firms like Walmart buy other large firms? So I'll give you a clue. One of them is a thing called economies of scale, and that's another part of the syllabus that we will learn during your time with us. Okay, so those are just a few things that are within the GCSE business syllabus. Okay, so why should you choose to studying business studies? So there are some things for you to contemplate. Do you want to be your own boss when you leave school? Some people like working for others, others like to take control. Do you want to learn more about what actually goes on in the world of work? I'm sure your parents probably tell you something about their work, but there's many factors involved in terms of different elements of the syllabus that we will study over the course of 3 years. Recruiting staff. If you need a new employee, how do you go about doing that? What is the full process from someone leaving your work to you replacing them? Or if your business is expanding, do you need new staff? So that whole recruitment process we need to learn about. How do businesses get the money they need either to start up or to operate? Motivation. Big part of the syllabus is motivation. Very important to understand what makes people work, what makes people want to work a little bit harder. And then we have the business of Thorpe Park. We've run a couple of trips to Thorpe Park very successfully. Students had a fantastic time. Not only learnt about the business itself, but maybe we got to go on a few rides as well. What will you learn? I'm not going to go through all of these because you as a potential business studies student will learn the importance of research and pre-reading and trying to find out more about each of these topics. I'll pick on the top one there, stakeholder interest. Do you know what a stakeholder is? Stakeholder, anybody that has an interest or an influence in a business. So a customer, a supplier, a shareholder, a competitor. So we need to understand different stakeholders' perspective on businesses and business decisions. There's some financial elements to business. Don't be put off by the financial side of business. In terms of maths, you just need to know how to do a percentage. Apart from that, it's about understanding the terminology of finance and how that is used by businesses. So from a student perspective, we've got some of our students, most of whom have done 4 years worth of business, 2 years at GCSE, you'll do 3, and they've done 2 years in the sixth form. So Phoebe, a very talented young lady, good insight into how the real world works, and that makes it interesting. So we do talk about real business. This isn't all about theory, about textbook. Often we will start lessons asking questions. What has just happened to Debenhams? What is the owner of Amazon worth, and why has he benefited during a pandemic? Okay, young man called Jack, directly relatable to most everyday situation and provides information needed to become successful in life. Another young man who's been with us for 4 years, detailed knowledge of the world around you, which most people will not have. Lots of people will have, and lots of subjects talk about the real world, but business, it is mostly about what goes on outside that door, outside your front door. Proper course that can be seen to relate to the outside world, Regan. So don't just take it from me, take it from Regan. Let's have a listen. So that was Regan. Regan is just about to finish year 13 in the summer and is looking at going to university. Very successful young man. There's an example of the kind of work you might do. That's a cash flow forecast. Completing the forecast, trying to analyze the information on there. You'll be mostly familiar with feed forward. So all of this green pen has been completed by the student. And Mr. Kennedy, head of business studies, has checked through it, read it. Clearly, he thinks this young lady's done some brilliant work, got a business star, and so thoroughly developed work by Evie there. Okay, there's an example of a typical activity that we would do in class. Whole load of people, and you need to try and create what's called an organisation structure. So using that information, putting their names on there, who was the boss, who's that boss in charge of, who's that person in charge of. So there is an example of an organisation structure. Your parents will tell you a little bit about this. When you get paid at work, it's not always a straight amount of money that you get each week or each month. There are different ways of earning money: piece rate, time rate, commission, profit sharing. I won't go into what they are, but you will learn about those. Okay, we have a code of practice in business studies called Gold Dust. Okay, so our business code of practice, we will talk you through at the beginning of the course. We do expect you to abide by all of those. Mr. Kennedy and Mr. Mace, both very experienced business studies teachers, lots of effort put into their lessons, but we expect lots from you. Okay, final little thought on business. Okay, this gentleman, richest businessman in the UK. You may not recognise him. He studied business and accounting. Just out of curiosity, do you know how much he earned during this presentation? £500,000. There you go. One person, one man, studied business and has made a thorough success of himself. I wonder if you can. Okay. If you need any more information at all, please contact Mr. Kennedy. There is his email address. He'll be happy to give you some more information. Okay. Good luck with your studies as you go through your rest of year 8. And let us know if you need anything from us.